Welcome to the Perception. My name is Sharon ILARO. It's exactly 9 p.m. on Saturday. Don't forget to download the Fiktube app. That's if you're to catch us every Saturday 9 p.m. You either download the Fiktube app from your Google Play Store, or you can find us at www.fiktube.com. Today we are going to look at education generally, but specifically on the enrollment and retention challenges we find in the education sector. We need to look at the... Before I go any further, let me allow my colleagues to introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jane MUTUSI. Happy to be here again. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's Doris AKANSASIRA. Welcome to the Perception Show. We are glad.
Hey everybody, as usual, my name is Lawrence. Today I don't know. I'm excited to be in this place once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. When we look at education, we are looking at the formal type of education. When we have in Uganda, we have the nursery education, the primary, secondary, and then the tertiary. Then when you look at the enrollment challenges, we are looking at those challenges that why most people have failed to join into school. For example, in primary P1, why would someone fail to join the primary level? Why would someone fail to join the secondary level? Or yasome namalako primary church in zomulemesa or could joining a secondary, and then we look at also that the university or tertiary institutions. And then when you look at the retention challenges, we are specifically looking at those challenges that may fail someone from completing, the challenges that may fail someone from completion of education. Before we go further, I don't know who is going to introduce the education here. Jen.
Thank you, Sharon. There are many concepts in our today's topic, so I'm going to talk about retention and enrollment. Then my colleagues can also talk about other concepts. So when we talk about enrollment, here we are looking at the number of people who register or who fills in, who enters in education. That is enrollment, the number of people, the number of students who get a chance to join any level of education. Then when we talk about retention, this is who are those people who manages to remain in the school. For example, if someone has joined the nursery, has that person managed to finish that nursery? If someone joins campus, year 1, will that person manage to continue and finish the university? That is retention, the retention rate. Thank you. I can give.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jen, for introducing those concepts. So, we twogera ku retention, kiringo okugamba nti oyingidde mu ssomero nawo genda kwekuumiramu paka w'omaliriza emisomo gyo ku level yonna. That is retention in simple understanding. Then we twogera ku enrollment, twogera ku joininga oba okuyingira obuyigirize bwonna, oba in terms of primary, oba nursery, oba secondary, oba university, oba tertiary institutions. Kati those are the key terms she was talking about. But we are going to go back. System ya Uganda, or the education system of Uganda, it's comprised of mainly 4. They may go beyond, but they are mainly 4. We have the lower primary, we have secondary, we have universities or any other tertiary institutions. However, it's not limited to that, because there are other elderly studies that goes on. So in all those levels, we've seen that like students or pupils they join from nursery, though of recent, the government of Uganda was urging that they remove nursery section. So I don't know whether it's in implementation or not, or they are still debating about it. But to our interest, we are going to begin from the primary level. You find that a people joins primary. You join primary when you are 100. Then they go on P1, P2, P3. They begin to reduce. P4, the number reduces. P5, it goes. When it goes to P7, those who manage and they escape and they go to secondary, that's where the problem begins from. So you find someone like in joining, when he wants to join P7, you find maybe she has got body challenges. Let's say that she's a lady. And in some cultures, when they begin to see that your body has begun to respond to a certain stimuli, how can I say it? You've begun to develop some biological organs. They begin to say you're mature. They begin to see something in you, culturally, but not everybody. That's why I thank the Perception Show that came here to educate us and to make us understand the reality of life and change our mindset. So, you find someone has finished P7. I was in this week, somewhere, that side of Mukono. Then someone was like, omwana wange yamalize emisomo naye ali bubi. Then I was like, yamala okusoma yamala kyakumeka. He said P7. You understand? So to them, they think P7, if you've studied and you finished P7, it's an achievement. It's an achievement. You have what? Achieved, even if you can leave the school. Haven't you ever had parents saying, I'm going to teach my child or to pay for my child's school fees? When she reaches senior 4, she has studied. So education also has what? Levels.
You say this person completed P7 and then the parent was like, Yamalo Soma. Yes. And they're like, Kasang Somesa, you're done with senior 4 or Womazo Soma. Lawrence, I want you to clarify me on that. What is your level of, when someone attains that level, then you say that at least Omuntu Amazo Soma? Because some people there outside, they are having a perception that maybe Womala P7 Omaliriza, Womala senior 4 Maliriza. In some families, Womala senior 6 Omaliriza. Then to some people, Womala first degree at university, Obedo Maliriza. So I want you to tell me, what is that level that you base on to say that someone has attained education and should stop there? I don't know.
Thank you very much. But we have the fundamentals. There is what we call basic education. So when primary level is just a foundation, then when you go to secondary, senior 4, someone can say he has done. It depends on the target you have, by the way. But primary is a foundation. But when we reach on senior 4, it depends on your target. There is someone who is saying, after senior 4, I want to go and I do a course. That will be my satisfaction. So, tumanya tutya obo omuntu amanya atya nti nsomye, your target, it's the one that qualifies you. Ngogamba nti nsomye oba sisomye. There's someone who gets a degree and he says sinasoma. So it depends on the targets you have as a person.
What if someone is having a target? You never know. Someone maybe is having a target of fishing. Someone wants to be a fisherman. Don't you think P7 is enough for that person to drop out? Because I don't know. I think if you're telling me you based on that target for you to drop out of school, because education is a long way. It's a long journey. Yes. So if you say you based on that target, someone out there will be like, he is in Mala University. Soma Masters. You know? So I don't know.
I wouldn't want to consume much of the time of the speakers. They will also speak. But my point is, studying has no beginning and it has no end. You've talked about a fisherman. What kind of a fisherman? You might find that a fisherman his target is getting a daily meal. But there's another fisherman who wants to export fish and takes it to other countries, to East Africa, to Africa. So he needs to go and study how do they add value on the fish, the quality of the fish you want. That's the difference. Again, you have gone to study catering. There are those people who go to study catering of this normal hotel where they will cook for people and they give them 2,000. But it's someone who has gone to learn how they cook Chinese dish, to learn how to cook. Yes, 5-star hotel. So that's why I told you it depends on your passion and desire. So whatever is in your passion, then you will do, and it will attract gold to you. I beg to not to stop here, but to give an opportunity to other speakers also to contribute.
Thank you, Lawrence. Doris, could you talk more on the challenges, the enrollment challenges? Because we are seeing, I visited a number of schools. I happened to visit a number of primary schools throughout the week before today, and I found out that in most of them, okay, in all, not in most, in all of them, that when you go to primary 1, P1, you find that there are very, very many pupils. There are many pupils compared to, the more you go, the lesser the number of the pupils. And then I also found out that the girls are the majority in lower primary. They are more than the boys. Okay, we know the population of Uganda, according to the census that we carried out last time. We know that women are more than men, yes, but then I found out that girls are actually more than boys in lower primary. But the more I went on in upper classes, in upper primary, I also found out that the boys are becoming to be equal. The numbers are starting to be equal to the boys, and the girls, they are starting to be equal in numbers in upper primary. I don't know, it's maybe because most of the girls dropped out of school during lockdown, maybe not only lockdown, but also we know this thing has been happening because we also passed through the same system years back when we were still in primary. In P1 there are very many, you're many in class, there are many girls, but as you continue, because you know there is that thing, they use that table they used to draw on the blackboard every morning. So they count the girls and the boys and they draw it. So the more you call, the more levels of education, the more classes you go to, the number of girls begin to reduce, and then the number of boys, it starts to equal to the number of boys. And the more you go, the girls reduce the more. I wanted to find out, because when you join P1, you find many girls joining and also many boys joining. But still, there are those people that fail to join even P1. Both boys and girls, there are those people that still fail, the children that still fail to join. I don't know, what could you think could cause this when they're joining their primary 1? Because if you visit some families, mostly in rural areas, even in Kampala, in urban areas, mostly in the slums, you find young kids of 7, 6, 8 years, they're home and they're not studying. Yes.
Thank you, Sharon. I think we have the first one is, I think it's carelessness of parents, because you're not going to tell me that a P1 child does not, like, the parent is lacking school fees. I know there's poverty, but also the carelessness of the parents. We have UPE, like the school fees is not so high that the parents are not able. But you find when kids are home, like also in my place, like I know of little kids like these 6 years, 7 years, and they're home seated, just seated. Maybe, but like someone, like one I know, the parents just left him with their grandparents. So you see that it's the carelessness of those grandparents that they are not even taking any, they are not minding. Or why he goes to school, or why he has not gone, they don't want to know. She just wakes up, goes to the farm, does what she's doing, then also, but also there is poverty. Poverty because, you know, in some rural areas, like me, my mom is a teacher. In those rural areas, but do you know they chase those students out. They just pay money for examinations. That's like 6,000. But they are failing to pay that money, and they chase them. They chase those kids, they go back home. So that's, I think there's carelessness, there's poverty that's leading to all those. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doris. You talked about carelessness of the parents, but me, I would refer to that as wrong perception about education. They have a different mindset, because you can't be careless on something that you're looking for. Let me give an example. You're looking for a job. I understand we are all fresh graduates. We're yet to graduate, rather. You're looking for a job, and then you get somebody, a manager of somewhere, offering that job to you. It depends on the passion you have for something. It depends on the passion that you have towards education, the perception, the enthusiasm that you have towards the education, for you to show interest, for you to show efforts. So I think most of these parents lack that passion of education. They don't see, they have a wrong perception of it. When you see in some families, they educate only the boys. They don't educate the girls. So their young girls are not recruited, they are not enrolled into the education system, because they believe it's maybe something that is a woman is not, the office of the girls is in the kitchen, that's saying. And then they also believe that there is actually no need of educating a girl, because I mean, after 6 she's going to get married anyway. So they have a wrong perception towards educating these girls. And then the boys, you find out that maybe the father is a fisherman, okay, some small business around the trading center of the area. So they want their sons to also join in, and they've managed to do that without attaining education, you know. So they're like, why should he go to school anyway? Because I want him to be a carpenter like me. I want him to do fishing like me. So why should he enroll into the education system? It's like money, they see it as money wastage. So I think they have a really bad perception or mindset towards education. They do not know the importance. They do not know the advantage of this. Yes.
She talked about carelessness, but I would talk about the value you are attached to something. Some people, they don't know the value of education.
Yeah.
And when you don't know the value of something, you abuse it. Okay, I would like to a little bit divert a bit, but I'm coming back. If you are a lady, or if you're a gentleman, and someone doesn't know your value, run away for your life, because he or she will abuse you. So even parents, it becomes like this. They don't understand the value of education. That's why sometimes they don't take their children to school. No wonder when they grow up, those are the people that strangle them. Those are the people that get pangas on them, that we want borders and what. Why? Because they didn't invest in them. Abantu abamu balabanga okusomesa ng'olinga ayonoona ssente, naye nze nkubulya amazima, bw'oba oli muzadde nga tosomesa mwana wo, agenda kukwatirako ejjambiya lazima akutemerwa nsonga, tewamuyigiriza. So value gy'oteeka mu kintu gy'ejja gy'oli. Back to we girls, and perception covers a lot of things. Omuntu, if somebody doesn't see any value in you, just detach from that person, because anytime he will abuse you in any way. So abazadde n'ekyalo wetunakijigiriza, we as the perception, we as the government, the role of education, let us believe it or not, people will enroll. But if they come to a point where they have not understood the value, they will not enroll, probably. So I give the chance to my fellow colleagues.
Thank you. Most people say that education, you don't have jobs. There is too much unemployment. Why should I educate my children and yet there are no jobs, you know? And then they look at education. After the education, they want to see jobs. They want to see jobs running after them. So they're like, because no, even if they are to attain the education, there are no jobs. I don't know what you're supposed to say about that.
Let me talk something about that. The perception that parents have towards education. whereby they complain, like how you have said that some people even say, but why should I take my kid, yet even those who have graduated have no jobs? But first of all, what people should know, we made different. There is someone who will get a job in 2022 and someone is still looking for it. The other person who finished before this person. So about that issue, it is a different thing, and it has, by the way, that is the most issues that is affecting people in the society, especially rural areas. Me, I see the biggest problem is in rural areas. Parents, the only people they are seeing, they are these people who dropped out sometime. So a parent will say, but those people even used to go to school. We used to see those people going to Kampala to study, but they are doing nothing. They stay here. But a parent forget everyone is blessed in a different way. And also the Uganda of today, even if you have a first class, that doesn't matter. What matters this time, it is to use your brain. If someone is studying, I'm talking about the unemployed people who have finished, go for another, or have, as you're studying, make sure at least you have some skills aside. So, and I've been seeing most people who are working aside, those are the people who it makes them easier to get another job, the job they wish to get. But if you to stay stranded, you stay at your home place, you can't get a job. And also another thing I would tell these people, though I want to add, I will go back to the question. Social network also matters a lot. The people you know, the people how you handle yourself, the friends that are in your circle matters a lot. Yes. So I want also to add on the issue of why enrollment is low. When it goes to rural areas, these young people lack role models. A kid will be studying, but in the society, maybe that society, there are no people who have completed education. Everyone who succeeds runs away from that place. No one thinks of going back to inspire these young ones. Yesterday I was at my former school, and we are planning to go back. If I can go with you people, Perception, I will be happy. Yeah, we are planning to go because we have seen I remember when I was still there, some students from universities would come. There is something you learn from people who are above you. At least you get inspired. So these people lack role models who can inspire them. They lack mentors. The only people surrounding them, these are the people who are saying, but negundi teyasoma, negundi teyamala. There are these people that, yes, even if education, by the way, it is not even, there is even those people who are not educated, but at least they have a positive attitude towards their community, towards their school. But there is this person whom you will find when he's talking even a negative words towards his society. You can't expect that person to develop that society. So these kids are surrounded by those people. Instead of inspiring a kid, you study, you will at least like this person, you study, you're going to be an important person. Me, I love such people. Even if you're not seeing anything, say, Jen, I see a great lady in you. Those are the people who makes us to grow. Yeah, those are some of the challenges that is hindering.
Thank you so much, Jen. Basically, when I look at education, education avails us with the necessary qualification for employment in future. But then when you look at education, it's not just about employment after years. Education teaches us a lot of things that we can't learn from home. Let's say education liberates our minds. They go in for other businesses because maybe they even have the opportunity to be employed somewhere, but they choose not to go there and they choose to go in for other businesses. Education is not just about getting the qualification and going for employment, but when you look at education, when your mind is liberated, you can do anything, you can switch to anything. Haven't you seen people like studied a different course but working somewhere else? You know, education provides us with the life skills, teaches us a number of things, whereby you find someone who is educated is confident enough. When you're educated, you discover yourself, you rediscover yourself. No manyanti Sharon, who am I? No gamba, I'm this kind of, I'm special. I'm a woman, I'm special, I can do anything, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, you know. You rediscover yourself and they're like, you can fight for your rights. People who are educated, in most cases, they fight for their rights. They know their right, they discover their rights, and they can fight for them. Education teaches us assertiveness. Do you know that there are girls, let me give an example of someone. Teasoma naivety in most of the girls is because of lack of education, I would say that. Because you may find someone, omwala, omsaja na mkwana, and she doesn't want the guy. It's a no for her, but she can't say it. She can't say it. She can't even look into his eyes and say, I'm not interested, because she's not assertive enough. She's not confident enough. And I would refer this to lack of the life skills. You don't have the necessary life skills that you could have learned if you were if you had joined education. You know, someone is like, I don't, sagala. You know, even she's looking down. She's saying, I don't want it. It's a no. She's looking down. She can't even look into his eyes. She's soft in her voice. You know how those girls be, eh? She's lacking her nails and she's like, no, I don't want. Then the guy's like, why don't you want? I don't want. My mom, you know. Someone may perceive it like you want and they will continue disturbing you. Because you can't even stand on your feet and say, I'm not interested, I don't want this, you're not assertive enough. You know, you're not you even fear, you're creating, I don't know how to say this, I don't know how to explain this, but all I know is that education teaches us the necessary life skills, teaches us being that will enable us in intra and interrelations with people. You talk about, you may start up a business. We've seen many businesses failing because of lack of life skills. And to the way you handle customers, the way you do what. Education, we go in a society full of different people that you don't know, you've never seen before. But it teaches you to fit into that society, learn to interact with those people, be friends with those people. Such skills, you can transfer them to your day-to-day life. To the way you're going to make the life soft for you in this world, because nothing is easy. But then when you when you enroll in education, when you study, things are a bit simpler for you, not like the other uneducated person. Thank you. Doris, I wanted you to also elaborate more on the issue of retention, because we see most people, even at campus, at MOOC, when you look at our course, by the time we joined, we're very many people. We're very many students doing gender studies. But then when you reach the time of graduation, we see like the numbers begin to reduce. The numbers begin to drop. When you're in first year, you're many, second year, mutandiko kendera. When you also look at secondary level, primary, at every level, the retention level keeps on decreasing as we go on, as we proceed. So I don't know. I wanted you to elaborate more on that.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. About the retention for the students, we have seen students going to school, like at campus. We go when we are many, like in first year, we are so many, let's say we are 500. But by the time we graduate, we are just like 200 or something halfway. So I think most of the times that, like at campus, specifically at campus, it's the most students end up going in for drugs. They end up going in, peer pressure makes them go for drugs. They start alcohol, they start sexual things, and they end up, some of them, like the girls, they end up getting pregnant. They drop out of school, they leave school, The boys, they start drugs. You see, they have started suspending them from schools just because of the drugs. So I think, yeah, maybe you can add on.
Me too.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jane, Doris, and Lawrence. Thank you so much for viewing. This is so educative. It's entertaining and educative as well. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for watching us. Let's have a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back from the short break. We are still looking at education and the enrollment and retention challenges in education sector. I remain Sharon ILARO. We still have NSABONIMPA Lawrence, Doris AKANSASIRA, and MUTUSI Jane. So we're still looking at the retention challenges in the education sector. And as before we went for the short break, Doris had talked about something on peer pressure, and this mostly happens in all levels of education, in primary, in secondary and tertiary institutions, universities, whereby people join and then due to peers, bad groups, they join bad groups and then they are forced to drop out of school. Let's continue with Lawrence, enlightening more about that.
Wow, thank you, moderator, our host Sharon. There can be many problems. The main reasons as to why retention has been all along a problem and is a problem. So on this perception show, I'm going to focus on the problem of finance. What does it cost you to be at the university? You need millions of money. And who can afford millions of money? Today we are living in an individualistic society where everyone for himself. Kankademu mu Luganda. Olwaleero okubeera mu university oba mu ssomero lyonna ssettendekero oteeka okuba ng'olina ssente. Omusoga agamba ssente diriwo. So if you don't have money, you may not manage to finish education, because really that's why I call upon the government to help us. I know it has been doing it, but then it should put more efforts, because we've seen people getting scholarship yet they are not supposed to get them. They are better off, but because they are associated to somebody, or to the state house, or because they know somebody, they end up getting the the scholarship.
Let me add to that. Someone out there could be like, you're calling upon the government to help us.
Yeah.
But the government already gave us the UPE. The government already gave us the USE. And then they will believe that after USE, you can start up something to get money out of it, which money you'll use for university. What do you have to say about that?
Thank you very much. You're so updated and detailed. But what I'm trying to say is this: the government gave you UPE and USE, but UPE and USE, these are foundations. They are not courses where you're going to study and you master in a discipline and then you begin to operate in it. Whatever senior 4 or mazo gisoma, you've got what we call the foundational education. Ne wawoche tuita professional course. Wovao mu senior 4. If you want to join a university to study a professional course, then you have to pass through A level. So A level is also a foundational education for those people who want to join universities or tertiary institutions. Katinange kembuzeko oba it's a point of thought. Omwana wa senior 4 abasomye eki.
Lawrence, we are on the perception show to show the different perception and mindsets of people and what is on ground. If the government does not give you the education, does not give you the money that you need for university, you have to be with something that you can do to enable you acquire that education. Let me give an example.
My question, please.
Yes.
Omwana wa senior 4 bagamba wasoma.
Yes.
Nasoma. Ne bakubuza wasoma ki.
Auntie Nze Chengamba, this is my say on that.
Yes.
Senior 4, USE does not end at senior 4. Lwaki oba okoma mu senior 4? Soma mpaka mu senior 6. Senior 6, I know it is still down a very low level of education. But at senior 4, I believe, look for something you're going to do. Remember, we said education is not the ability. Okay, it gives us the qualification to be employed, but what if there is no employment? You can get a side business after senior 6 that you get money from to continue with your secondary. I'm not saying that government shouldn't help us at campus, because centers are university nyingi. You may fail to join university, nogenda nokola ka course.
There is something I wanted to bring out to be clear to the public. Ochiraba. That's why I called it foundational education, that everyone can study, and after there kubanga gogenda kwimina wanogambe I've studied social science, so I'm a social scientist. I've studied catering, so I am a chef, or I am a waiter or a waitress. So a senior 4 person, it means that government chebe kuyambye ke kuwadde omusingi. Naye ogwo omusingi gwe kuwadde, it's upon you to use it. Yes. I credit the government on that. However, there are people who have got on that foundation, and after laying the foundation, they are stuck. They don't have how they can expand. Kubango Gambia small scale business. Today,
Lawrence, I think next Saturday we should talk about financial literacy and entrepreneurship. Because some people think that Oktandikao business, you need something big. People have villages. Some people have land, free land in the villages, you know. People have, but they are redundant. They are waiting to get businesses, over bagala business. They want these big businesses already booming. You see someone having a business worth 100 millions. You don't know where this person started from and how this person started. So I think next Saturday we are going to talk about financial literacy and entrepreneurship. Because kati government weta kuyamba okuwerera ku university ogenda kola otya. Does it mean your life has ended? Yes. By the way, of recent, Ndave government were livelihood programs whereby they bring maybe catering, tailoring to those people that have not been able to enroll in university or what. They are providing them with life skill, with the livelihood programs to enable them or call a center out of it. So I don't think entirely we should look at the government. We should change our perception from thinking that the government should be responsible for bulichimu kutuwa, but let's look for how we're going to maneuver, how we're going to go through this.
That's very good. I'm glad to your point. I'm not telling the government to help us in each and everything. Never at least everything should have an end. To let there be there's UPE, USE. How can we call the one in tertiary institutions? So a scholarship. Then scholarship is a zero. They only give them to people who don't deserve them. In which way? Someone is from a well-off to-do family. Why do you give a government scholarship to a person who have studied at Marcos or at these big schools we talk about? Their tuition is worth 4 million, 4 million just one term, and you're giving him a scholarship. Go back to your government and you lift those people whom you gave there. It's not all about points. Kubanga 4 million omwana azisobola ozisasula eza university nefe tugenda olwokubanga afunye 20 points netumuwaki scholarship where gyabadde asomera. When you track the record where the student has been studying, has been to the schools where they pay 9 million.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Let's hear from Doris.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. Yeah, I support what you've been saying, but now I have another point of, I think early marriages that have also led and a lot to child dropout. Early marriages, there have been so many, and most especially in this lockdown, we have seen a lot of girls drop out of school, and so many girls have not gone back to school. We have seen the Ministry of Education saying that also girls with girls who are pregnant or girls who have given birth should go back to school. Like they should go back in classes. They should study with this. I don't think this one, like how they want these girls to go in class with pregnancies. Remember, these boys who gave them their pregnancies, for them they are in class, for them they are studying, they have not dropped out. But the girls are the ones mostly who drop out, yeah. Jane, maybe you can.
Thank you, Doris. So, Doris, you talked about early marriages as one of the challenge and one of the cause of a school dropout of a number of people. I look at not only the girls, although it's mostly the girls that are affected by this, because mostly in the rural setting and culture, they believe that when they see a girl seeing her maturing in the puberty stage, that is when someone is seeing her menses, someone is developing breasts. They believe that the person is supposed to get married there and then, and they believe that there is no need of educating a girl, since even most of the girls in rural areas, as Jen had talked about earlier on, they lack role models, so they are forced into getting married, and their parents also lack role models. They don't see those girls of so and so who completed campus, who studied up to maybe masters and is successful. They also lack such kind of people, and so they end up getting married. And also the issue of culture. For example, among the SEBE, the FGM, female genital mutilation. So after you're circumcised, it is automatic initiation to adulthood. So when you become an adult, things that come with being an adult is marriage. So they are forced into marriages at an early age. So they drop out of school because of that. That is, I think, why I saw when I went into those schools that I told you earlier on, Osanganga mu primary, P1 has more girls. They keep on reducing as you go higher. P7 has the least. P1 has the most number of girls. So I think it's because of that, and also the boys maybe. Also early marriages for the boys, because we are seeing boys of below age having wives, marrying. So it's really a big problem. So people should really change their perception on the way they see this. It's no use marrying off your daughter at an early age, or your son marrying for your son or wife at an early age before attaining education, because we see these people after some time they are not even successful. They are dependents. You know, they are the people that are always saying government etuyambe, government etuyambe, because they are hopeless. They have no, they sing like their world is ending, because they don't even have the little education, the minimum education, at least first degree, university degree. They don't even have it. Let's hear from Jen.
Thank you. Me, the issue I would focus on, I'd talked about primary level. Now I'm going to focus on the university level. Why there is some less retention of the student who join. I will talk about the culture at the university in most cases, and even the perception of people. By the time you finish senior 6, someone is targeting. After senior 6, it is the university. After the university, it is marriage. So most cases, girls, okay, even boys do, but the highest percentage of people who face such challenge, they are girls. So someone is at the university, and the only target it is to get a boyfriend who will be a husband in the future. But these people, most people don't wait for after campus. Their life starts from there. We have even some people who have pressure from their from their aunties. Me, I had a friend who would tell me, Jen, wanange, for me every time antambuza wafunayo omusajja. People get husbands from the university. So yeah, it is. So that culture that has been at the universities for many years, especially MOOC, and I think I'm not lying, you all know that culture. People start dating, everyone, first year student is on pressure of getting a boyfriend because it is a culture at the university.
I'm only left with 3 years and
Yes, and also even parents, some parents pressurize their students. So you have sent someone to get a degree, you want that person to go with 2 degrees, marriage and books. So that is one thing. The way it is a challenge, when this person develop that mindset, I have to get a boyfriend. If I move out of campus, I won't. From there, you go with wrong people. You go with wrong people. Sometimes girls are impregnated by those people who won't be their husband. By the time you say, I'm pregnant, that person will go away. He's not interested. He's not ready to be a father. So that is one of the challenges I've been seeing at campus for those girls who drop out. Yeah, if a girl is pregnant and a man, that husband who has impregnated cannot take care of the baby and the mother to retain that girl at campus, that girl will drop out and look for a cheap place or go back in the village. Most girls drop out because of the culture. You see that line. Yeah, that is one of the issue. And also another thing, it is what most people see as peer pressure. The group you're in determine also. Sometimes we have always been seeing people who get peer pressure. It has both positive and negative part of it, but I would focus on the negative part of peer pressure. The type of people we befriend at campus, the type of people we get when we join. You may end up getting this person who is maybe, I'm going to talk about this, like maybe selling. You befriend that person, maybe that person has an issue of money, and so for you, you also decide to do the same when you don't know, even you don't have any idea about it. You get involved in the same activity like the other one, yet the other one has ideas about it. So those are the issues which has been pulling girls out of education at high institution. Thank you, Miss ILARO.
Thank you so much, Jane, Doris, and Lawrence. We've looked at the different challenges that come along with the retention of children, pupils and students in the education sector, and we've seen that peer pressure. We've looked at the economic challenges where most people lack tuition to continue at any level. But then when you talk about tuition, it's really a big challenge that is not easy to handle, because if you don't have money to continue with your education, then in most cases it does what? It tends to fail. But nevertheless, don't lose interest. Try harder, try pushing. At least if you've attained some kind of education, let's say senior 4, senior 6, there's something you can do. Actually, there's something that you can. I have a friend, I won't mention his name, but he told me he educated himself from senior 1 till he got done with university with a first degree, which is a bachelor's, and continued when he got, that is when he got employed, then he continued for his master's. I think you have to be creative enough. Next Saturday we are going to come back with financial literacy, where you're going to learn how you can handle money, how you can be money savvy, how you can save, how you can start up entrepreneur businesses and all that. Do not lose hope, do not lose interest in education, because it is like that it carries 90% of your success. You may not see it now, but in future you're going to see it, or your children. You can start up something that you can do that may help you stay in the education system until somewhere that someone can help you, or you can get a job out of it. Thank you so much for watching. It's me, Sharon ILARO, your host. Let's have a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back from that short break. We've been looking at the enrollment and retention challenges in the education system, and we are coming to the end of the show, the end of the session. We looked at a number of issues. So many of you have been thinking that if you don't have enough money, you don't have money to keep on staying at school, to continue to enroll in school, to stay at school. You should break out. But then I don't think that is the best way to go, and I don't think we should keep on crying to the government for everything. You should learn financial literacy. At least look for something that you can do that can bring in money. So people, there are many businesses that you can do. Actually, there are a lot of things you can do that can enable you get money that you can use for your education, because education is so much important. You may get confused and get no labanti okola ka business ko ingiza mtwalo oba mtwalo ebiri on a daily, but then that is not enough money. That money is less for you. And besides, if you do not have enough education and you do not have enough financial literacy or life skills, your business could fail anytime. So it's not something you can depend on. That business I talked about is just to give you the necessary money, the requirement that you will need to finance your education, but it's not something that you should depend on as a lifetime thing, because as you grow up you'll discover that there are a lot and so many should I call them challenges. You'll discover that there are so many things that need money. Right now you are single and you're alone, but as time goes on ogenda funa family, onafuna omukyala oba mukazi ogenda funa omusajja, you're going to get children, and then this 20,000 that you've been bringing in on a daily won't be enough for you. So that is just something. As we come to the end of the show, let me give my colleagues a chance to say their last remarks to the viewers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have been looking at challenges, as our moderator have said, and what I would add on as we finish, I want to talk about we need to be serious. In most cases, we people, we tend to take things unserious. An example I would give, we are crying of not being with money. Sometimes even we say, but how can I start up when I don't have capital? But my question is, during lockdown, people were trained, as one of us talked about this training. They would take girls to learn how to make cakes after they give you money. But most of my colleagues who got that chance, it was a chance. After the training, they give you 1 M, but people used it to buy shoes and clothes. So someone else may not manage to get that chance, but you who have got a chance to get such capital, it was a lot of money. 1 M can start up a small business. As you save, you go higher. Then on the issue of scholarship, someone talked about scholarship. For sure, scholarship issue, it is not effective at all. One, I would focus on this scholarship. You're given scholarship, but after being given a scholarship to study, people are not followed up. I wish people were being followed up after a scholarship, because after scholarship, you're taken out. You go out and start your real life. If you're that person who has never planned anything for yourself, you won't go anywhere. Yes, and also most of these scholarships, what I've seen, they are taken by people who have been paying a lot of money from secondary. You find someone has been paying 3M, 5M, and this is the person who takes a scholarship, because this person has been in a nice school and this person maybe got 20 points. And you find someone who is, because they consider points, they don't consider the other part of life. Yes, so that is how ineffective these scholarships are. Let me give chance to my colleague to add on.
Thank you so much. I would like to, on the challenges, those challenges that the youth face, I would like us to see about saving. What if we start saving? Like, you know, some of us, we are lucky they give us money for upkeep. What if we start saving that money instead of going to Simbura? We just eat the money carelessly. We buy in things which are not like those things. We just buy in clothes, shoes. We just want to slay around. But what if we start saving? You start investing your money slowly. You can start up anything. You can start up a Lorex. You can start up you start cooking these chapatis, they make some money. At least if you save even if 5,000 or 10,000 a day, you can start from that. Even if the education, because now we are studying, but it's not a must that everyone is going to get a job. Yeah. So after when you have that saving, you can as well go there and work for yourself, or you put workers. You start from there even after school before you get a job. Yeah, I am Doris, AKANSASIRA. Guys, thank you for watching us. You can download the Fiktube app. You can go to YouTube, subscribe to the Perception Show. You can follow me on my Twitter. I have my Twitter handle, Doris AKANSASIRA. On Instagram, Facebook, Doris AKANSASIRA. Thank you so much.
Wow. I would like to thank everybody that has been on this show. But there is something I want to leave with you before I go. I will speak it in Uganda and in English, straight in the camera. Abazadde. Abaana tebasoma kufuna mirimu, naye basoma kufuna magezi. So, emirimu gijanga bonasi. Amagezi goba ofunye gasobola okutandikizawo muki omulimu. Tetugenda ku ssomero okufuna mirimu, tugenda ku ssomero okufuna maki magezi agatwongerayo. Therefore, I would urge the parents, I would urge the guardians, if they are educating their children, let them not put them on the pressure of a job, but let them try to instill in them a manner of learning a skill, of learning capabilities, in that even if they have got out of campus and they are not working within their jurisdiction, I mean in terms of their profession, they can do something. Kubanga tulabya abantu who bakolalo nenga bali mu birala nenga bamaanyi. So kusomero tetugendayo, not because we are going to go get jobs. We know jobs are there, even those people who didn't study they get, but we go there to get value. Now, like the way you can get a cassava in the garden, then guba muogo naye ogutwala mu kyuma ate oba ogaseeko value, ne value yayo ekola ki yeeyongera. So musomesa abaana bamwe bafune value, bajja kubayo ekitiibwa. I remain NSABONIMPA parents. You can follow me on Twitter. Then you can also follow me on Facebook, NSABONIMPA parents. Don't forget to like, to comment. I'll be there waiting for your comment. Thank you very much. We'll meet on the next show. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lawrence. I've learned a lot of things today. I personally am with another mindset, another perception. But on top of what I knew, at least we learn each and every day. I've learned a lot today, and also I urge all parents, because what I'm about to talk about is mostly rampant in rural areas. Abazadde, leave alone this culture. Sorry, I'll say it in English. Kubanga, Siri Muganda. Sorry, parents, I urge you to educate your children. Leave alone this culture of saying that you have a perception of thinking that there are no jobs for children. Secondly, you have a perception of educating the boys and you leave out the girls. Because you think that, some of you think that a girl's office is in the kitchen, and some of you think that the benefits will be enjoyed by the boys' family. So you educate your children for yourselves, not for themselves. Leave alone that culture. You do not know the future of these children. You may educate the boy, and it turns out atuka at a certain level and now kusala. And besides, you're not educating these children for yourself. You're educating your children for themselves and their families, so that they be well off. When you talk about finances, like temuina sente z'okwerera abaana, mubeere ne plani, muzaala abaana nga muina plani, temumala gazaala abaana because you have the ability and the fertility. I'm sorry if I'm being rude, but then muzaala abaana nga muina, when you have a plan for that child, zaala b'osobola, muweerera abaana. Educate your children. Education is so very good. Ne waba tafunye mulimu ajafuna life skills. Ajafuna saako y'abantu abasomye. Mu butuufu omuntu atasomye amenya. Let me tell you the truth. Ate omuntu atasomye alina bingi bye yeefiiriza that someone has acquired education could get. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to like and to share. Also don't forget to subscribe to the Perception Show on Fiktube app. It's me, Sharon Ilalo, your host for the Perception. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. I use my name, Sharon Slivia Ilalo. Bye.